Need extra firepower.
Turret in place. Got one.
They're holding the line.
Almost there. Keep it up.
They're holding that area. They've got that spot locked down. Going now. It's mine.
Going now. On your target.
Everybody down! Snipers! In position! Ah! Enemy down! Give it a push. Pushing them back! They're holed up there!
Roger, moving out.
Roger, moving out. In my sights!
Set up.
Keep going, we're getting through! Put a mine there! Mine deployed! Hook up another! They're all dead, let's get moving. We got hostiles! Damn it, its shields are up! On the move! Moving! Attacking your target!
In place!
Drop a scatter there!
Clearing the area!
Mind that area! Draw its fire!
Come on, you dumb bastard! Mine deployed! Burn!
Through its shields! Let's hit it!
Okay, everybody, we are back. I looked through all of your questions, and you guys are asking just a ton of stuff. I know everyone's really interested in this, and I can't say enough how great it is to be showing some brand new gameplay that we haven't seen before, because more than anything, that's what we've wanted. The campaign so far has been extremely mysterious and very cool. It set the tone really well, and I think everyone was at this point where we're like, okay, we get it, it's classified, but can we declassify it before August 20th, because we're ready to see it. Yep. So we're actually going to take you through some more gameplay right now and talk more about battle focus and how you're going to be able to use that to create your strategy.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's dive back in, Andrew. And here we are in Battle Focus. So let's do a quick sort of tutorial. So we'll slam over to the right agent, Mr. Gorman over there. Now in Battle Focus, you have a variety of maneuvers, moves, and powers. The powers accrue as you level up and customize your agents, but we'll start with the basics. First, the move. Slide over to that move icon. Now by selecting that in the radial, you bring up a move icon within the world itself. Let's just follow through here. And here you're able to see this sort of system of valid cover versus cover under threat. It's going to feel very familiar to an XCOM fan. Not only is it just one discrete move, but you can actually chain moves as well. You can do move after move after move and form an actual path or a chain through the battlefield that your agent's going to follow. That's another aspect of Battle Focus, which is kind of awesome. I'm glad to get to talk about it, is the concept of queuing a plan. You can literally tell your agents, go here, then here, shoot this guy, then do this, then go here, and then we'll follow through that whole sequence of events, which is awesome. It's sort of the A-team. I love it when a plan comes together. Now, once you get past the basics of movement, and movement's crucial because that's how you get flanks and high ground advantages, you can go up to the prioritized target, mark for attack up there. That's how you tell an agent to say, this guy, this specific guy. It's going to have him focus his fire on that enemy. He's also going to get a bit of a boost to his accuracy because you've ordered him. And he's like, oh, this one's important. Sure thing, boss, I'm on this. And you can see there, you'll get the damage stats. It's going to show you how much damage percentage of maximum that you're going to get for any given attack. 67% right here is being based off both distance of the target, the range of the weapon, the type of weapon being used. It will go up when you have things like flank bonuses or height bonuses, another good indicator where something's going right. Let's back out of this agent really quick. We'll go over to our other buddy. Now, we've talked about movement, prioritize target. Let's do some cool power. So we'll go up here. This is an engineer. He's a deployer class. He has basically a laser turret power that he's accrued in the course of the game. Select that power. Bam. Now you can see the turret icon rolling through the field. And you can position it within a range of the caster, as it were. And then that will basically spring up an automated turret that XCOM scientists have hooked up for you to use in the field. You can see here in Battle Focus, he's already going to deploy it, even though time is slow. So the action never stops. Popping out of Battle Focus, back into real time, and let's go take a look at that turret. It's deployed, and it is shooting. Now, you can actually do combos on powers. Because there's height advantages, we'll go back into Battle Focus. Go to the newly acquired lift ability. Let's get that turret up in the air and giving it a height advantage, more damage, raining death upon these alien scum. Carter gives it a little boost. Now you can lift certain things, put shields and sort of things. Like, we really want the players to, that huge spoiler, but find the different powers that complement each other. It's not quite the same vibe as, say, in Bio 2, where it's all about the 1-2 punch combos of plasmids and weapons, but it's that same concept of combinatory smart plans. Like, if this is good, how is this made better in conjunction with that? And finding those things and then using them in the battlefield.
See, but I remember in Bio 2 that that was the first time that you could combine plasmids. And this kind of reminds me of that process of finding what complements each other. It's not just that you have a turret and you have lift. You can lift your turret.
Yeah, I mean, that is sort of like, it really is in the DNA of the studio. That concept of a tool chest of gameplay mechanics that the players put together is one of the hallmarks of our games. Our design director, Zach McClendon, that was one of his big charges on BioShock 2, and one of the big charges that we were employing in the early days of Battle Focus as well. Like, that is, when people go, like, what's your studio about? What do you like to do? Like, we love to do that. That's what we love to do. Because we're gamer gamers. We like games, and we like games where the players can have some say in what's happening too, beyond just a quick time event or press a button. So you can see here, we'll do some further explanations. Back into Battle Focus, please, sir. So as you use powers, they each have individual cooldown times. Now, you're able to offset some of these cooldown times by different ways that you customize your guys with perks. You can say, like, hey, I cool this type of power down faster, or this type of power is more damaging or more expressive somehow. It's a further aspect of customizing
Very
your squad.
customizable, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that, like, when you're hanging out in the office, at school, cafe, wherever you hang out, virtually online, and you're talking to someone about how you've been playing the Bureau and how they've been playing the Bureau, you can have a conversation that's a little bit deeper than, yeah, that happened for me too. And, like, I did this, I did that, and hopefully, like, you can do that.
It's going to be, that happened for you?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Like, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know you could do that. I mean,
in a pink vest? It's great.
Did you lose your hat? But it's cool, like, even amongst the team, like, there's times I've learned things. I'm like, wow, I have never thought to try that. Just because everyone has, like, there's certain things that you're into and not. Here we are using Battle Focus for slow-mo grenades slowly flying at us. So outside of the power that it gives you, it is also your tool that sort of gives you that commander's intuition to slow things down a little bit and parse. It's very important to understand what's going on. So we give you not only the sort of the cover, what is valid cover, what's threat information. We highlight where the enemies are on the battlefield, explosive objects or sort of interactable objects. We also will show you, if we go into a movement thing, where enemies are seeing that threat. So let's go somewhere bad on the battlefield. We're just going to go somewhere where it's like, why would you stand there? And put it on a cover shield. You can see these little arrows coming from everyone that's like, I have a line of sight attack there. So we're arming you with all the information possible. So the only thing preventing you from victory is you.
It's a lot of pressure.
Well, it's XCOM,
it's great,
right? Like,
right.
That's the goal here. You must be a hero. XCOM needs heroes. So that's a kind of a primer. Hopefully that's answering a lot of the questions people had, or giving them a lot more depth, I think, than we ever really talked about how Battle Focus works, which is cool. And we'll see how Andrew deals with the rest of this fight here. He is seeing a lot of flashing, so he's probably sitting there patiently waiting for the health power that the Carter as the commander has to recharge up the squad. He's also probably right now hating me a little bit because a lot of that damage was done because I was forcing him to go slow and I was yapping things away. You can see, that little red icon over this Jari foot soldier over there is indicating that the red agent had him actively targeted. You'll have a blue icon for the other side. We found red-blue a great way to sort of communicate just which agent was which when in the heat of battle when everything's going crazy. And that was one of the things we learned in the long process of sort of iteration and trying to get this right. Was just like there is an amount of information that is too much and or too little, and it was trying to find that sweet spot so that the players could really understand what was going on.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think it's at a point where at a glance you can tell what's going on and really begin your strategy at the drop of a hat or when his hat falls off.
Yeah.
We're going to keep mentioning the hat because I was really amused by that.
Oh, no, so now we have Mr. Gorman man down. Now
Help him out.
So you have we're a little nicer. Little secret, Andrew's playing on an easier difficulty level. But he's going to take advantage of the rear. The turret's weak spot is always, if you can get around to the rear, it's easy to take off. The head-on isn't so smart. But we got everyone on their feet. Okay, cool. Actually, we're going to come up to another sort of old classic here. A little fun, but I won't spoil it too much more. Let's wait. Yeah, here come the pink boys. It's kind of like the pink ladies in Greece, which also is period appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the Thunderhawks, the T-Hawks, and pink ladies? T-Birds.
Help me out, chat. Okay.
The T-Birds and the pink ladies. Oh,
that does not look like Grease Lightning, though.
that is not. That is not Grease Lightning. That is the emergence of a sectopod. So another of the classic old enemies. I love the phrase buffet of bad guys. in the Bureau at this point in time, that little guy is actually being powered by the desiccated corpse and the brain CPU of a sectoid, showing how little the Zujaris really care about those little guys. He is, like the Muton, individually, he's badass. Unlike the Muton, he's deadly at both distance, at range with his range attack, as well as up close with the pound. And he's going to do a smart thing and sort of prioritize the player and his agents in a very smart attack pattern. He also possesses a blade of armor. So you can see up there at the top, if we actually slowed down a little bit, maybe Andrew, if you could, he's trying not to die.
It's like last time you had me slow down,
yeah,
I almost died,
things
man.
got bad. You can see up the top, it's a sectopod, and you can see his health bar. You can also see this little sort of armor icon next to it. That's indicating areas on the sectopod that are currently armored. The idea being whittle away at a specific spot, expose the weak, creamy center, maximize your damage against him. Now, enemies also come with sort of different damage types, different weapons will react to different enemies in different ways. So there's a lot for the player to sort of understand and explore. We do give you some easy hints on a lot of things, though, in terms of figuring out what guys are good against or weak against in the form of what we call scan mode, which you're able to use battle focus to bring up some data. Over the course of the game, you'll get more and more data that will help you make smarter decisions. Die, sectoid. Die! So we have Graham. Graham's doing the red flash. We have another weak spot there, not as good as the turret, but with the sectopod distracted, Andrew was going to do something cool, and then he realized, wait a minute, I'm standing in the middle of a firefight. Sectopod goes down at the same time. Graham gets dropped. You can see him bleeding out there going, help me, boss. Now, you can pick him up, or you can send an agent to pick him up. Same for you. They'll get you back off the ground.
So it's not just Carter that can revive.
Agents can revive each other, and they can revive you. In harder fights, actually, where you're actually getting drilled and people are exposed, you actually have to use good tactics to open up the revive opportunity. So create distractions that pulls fire away, buying you time to run out in the middle of the battlefield to get a guy. Or we have a cool spherical shield ability, which is one of my favorites, where you just literally put a shield around the fallen body and go and get somebody. Yeah, lift is a high utility power. And our goal with the powers is to try to find good combinations of direct offensive, battlefield management, bizarre. There's a whole bunch of goals there. Homecoming, 1962. So you can see in Battle Focus is another great way to scan the periphery and go, are we clear? Are we clear? We're clear.
And then let's go.
Yeah, and then there's the go. So you can use a D-pad. Let's just show that off really quick, Andrew. So you can use a quick D-pad command to send people wherever you're pointing to. As you can see, the shield markers are indicating the agents are going to go there. You can also push down on it. Guys, on me. And your agents will pop off and recover to you. If you're pointing at an enemy, you'll mark them for a prioritized target. If you're down, bleeding out, you can just quickly push D-pad down, and whoever's closest will come to your rescue. Hopefully. They might die on the way, depending.
But they're going to give it a go.
Yeah. So there's a host. Are there other questions that we might be?
Absolutely. One of the other things we want to talk about is we're showing a lot of the tactical gameplay, but I know there's so much more to this because it's not just this linear story. There's actually a pretty big narrative element, and there are side missions. I mean, what can you tell me about how the side missions play into the main campaign, and what it means to the player to go through all of the side missions, what they're going to get out of it?
Sure. So our campaign structure is split between major operations or minor operations, or primary quest missions and secondary quest missions. The major operations they form the linear spine. They are the major moving beats of the significant moments of the war against the outsiders. Now, at each of those junctures, we open up variable minor operations. Missions that are player elective, like secondary quest lines in an RPG, if you're into that kind of thing as well. These are great opportunities to try out new squad members, like you move too quick, I couldn't use it as an example, back up. Those, I'll go back in. This is like couch co-op. You're driving wrong. No, you can see down here we have Port and Barksdale, rank 1. The minor operations are a great opportunity to take them with you into the field, level them up, grind them up a little bit, boost them up, try new things, try new combinations where it's a little safer. It's also where you can find some hidden equipment upgrades that you take back to the eggheads at XCOM HQ, unlocking new powers and abilities. There's also a mission type called dispatch missions. You don't go on them, but you'll send your agents out on them, and they'll come back powered up and bring more goodies back home. And so
are your agents leveling up when they're out on dispatch?
They will level up when they're out on dispatch. So it's, again, with bench management, agent roster management, it's super important to sort of be active in that and keep as many ways as possible your charge, which is all your agents, moving up through the ranks and building up their utility. So it's not as, say, if Firaxis Enemy Unknown is a strategy game mixed with a tactical game, so it has a sandboxy, strategic, systemically generated missions. Because we're telling a strong narrative game, obviously a lot of our primary operations are narratively driven. That goes in a linear fashion. There's still some play, because it is an XCOM game, in other and alternate mission types, so that your play experience, your exact route through will be much more personalized.
And even when it is, so the side missions, they don't really have randomized enemies, but the way that you go about completing them is going to be different. It'll vary by player, it'll vary by playthrough, everything is going to be constantly evolving.
Yeah, and it'll be your choice which ones you go on and which ones you do not. And so, I think, certain players are just like, I just want to grind me through this story. Other players are like, I want to explore every nook and cranny. I think somewhere in the middle is probably the optimal play style, but there's nothing wrong with exploring every nook and cranny.
And I think there are a lot of players that do that just because 2K Marin is known as a studio that brings a lot of depth and a lot of character to their games. So, without telling us the story, how important is narrative to this XCOM game? How strong is that narrative thread?
It's hugely important. Again, with the Charter to tell an origin story, it has to be a story that's a little more meaningful than this was the first time aliens attacked XCOM. Which
right.
Which
is pretty powerful in and of itself.
Which is good.
Aliens.
That is totally good. But obviously, I think everyone wants a little bit more, especially with this decision. Here we are, third person. We built an actual viewpoint character.
Absolutely.
And so there's a lot going on. With the formation of XMO as an organization, with understanding the nature of the Zujari, with the impact on American 62, the evolution of Carter as a character, his interactions with the mains, the impact of what you do affecting how those plot lines play out. We're playing with conspiratorial aspects and sort of Cold War of the period. It is narratively rich. In fact, in some ways, this is us leveling up as a game developer. Right? We told a very interesting and thematically sound and meaty and crunchy story in Bio 2 with Sophia Lamb. We obviously extended a lot of that narrative with Minerva's Den in terms of trying to tell these stories that are rich, supporting experiences that make it more than just a game and make it an event in your gameplay in life. We feel with this game we're spreading our wings a little more. We're playing with conversation systems. We're playing a lot more with the impact of choice in different points within the flow. And so we spend a lot of time talking about the tactical aspects, but you're absolutely right. The narrative and the various aspects of it are hugely important and a huge focus for us as we were crafting the Bureau and are completing it right now.
And the thing that people are talking about in the chat, that they're really happy that the narrative is very strong, because again, that's something that people have come to expect from the studio. But it's the thing I like is it's more than just, you're not being told a story. The tactics are never taken away from you, because even in the narrative, you're making choices, and those choices have consequence to them.
Yes.
you know, so you have this tactical shooter, you have this really tactical narrative, and the entire time you get to be Carter. It never feels like it's on rails to me.
Yeah, that's one of our goals, is like really to make it, you know, I mean, make it feel like it is you're active. Like, I guess you could use the phrase play, right, as well, but I think it's that sense of being active. Like in the game mechanics, you know, in gameplay you're always active, and a lot of times in stories you're very passive. And we're trying to make sure that the experience is always one in which the player is critical to what is moving forward and feels a part of it, and that they're leaving their footprints on it. That's like it's kind of what makes us happy, and it's the types of games that we like to play. So.
Well, absolutely. And so, you know, we're wrapping up the live stream now. We have a couple of minutes, I wonder.
Oh, well, we have a dead agent. Oh, wow. While we were chatting about...
Look at what happened.
Here's a story happening right now. Mr. Graham is dead.
And he's gone.
He's gone. He is never coming back. That's hours of time invested. He's gone. Now, in lower difficulty settings, Mr. Barnes, our Sky Ranger pilot, circa 1962, can drop off one of your buddies that's in the roster to resupply you within the field. On higher difficulties, you're going to have to find resupply stations.
How many settings are there?
Oh, there are 4. There are 4 settings. There's Rookie, Squatty, Veteran, and Commander. We recommend Veteran for everyone because that's the game that's the version which is, I think, strongly balanced for tactical skills and use your brains. The easier difficulties we kind of consider training wheel difficulties. Go to them to help you out. Go to them to help you get your feet underneath you, understand the systems. But like, you know, playing an XCOM game on easy is like playing, like, say, NBA on easy. It's like, yes, LeBron James 500-point game. Like, it's not going. It breaks some of the realism. Though it might be fun just to own to that degree. Now, Commander is the difficulty that, like, we play on a lot and with on the dev team and die a lot, because Commander is the difficulty where you cannot ever slack. Like, you have to use every tool at your disposal. It's extremely challenging. When agents drop, you can't even get them back up in battle. You can only stabilize them, and they won't return to the end of the fight. So you get cascade of woe, is what I like to call it.
And I think that's something we're going to learn more about, you know, as we get closer to the game launch too. We'll really dive into the different difficulties. But you know, the other thing that people did want to know about in chat was, you know, not only how important are the side missions, but what are the side missions that are going to be available to them. And I know that there's one side mission that you get when you pre-order the game, Code Breakers, which just looks really eerie. What's kind of going on there?
So the quick little bit of the story. So Code Breakers is our exclusive pre-order side mission, and basically it is all about a bureau listening post. One of the people who got the early sort of advanced understanding that something was about to come to our world, something was about to happen, and Carter and his squad are sent to go find out what happened to these people at this listening post, because just as they were about to announce a few things, the comms went dark. And so you will go in with your team to go find out, you know, what occurred and what you can do about it. You know, and so that's one of the stories. The side missions have great little micro tales that, you know, supplement the central narrative of moving through and attempting to understand and repel this Ajari threat. But they bring you to all sorts of cool exotic locations and give us a great opportunity to really get that buffet of period, you know, settings, whether it's, you know, going off aspects of Route 66 to a government listening post to, you know, a farmland that maybe all is not as it seems. Like, it sort of gives us a lot of fun. I think, you know, not to besmirch the main levels, which I think, you know, obviously they're fantastic and there's amazing events and amazing things to experience. But that bite-sized nature of the side missions, I think, makes them very fun and feels very familiar, I think, as to an XCOM fan.
And even with, you know, bite-size, I know Codebreakers has another at least half hour or so of narrative gameplay. So these are big bites. These are large bites. I am a big man, so it's big bites. But yes, these are not like, oh, I'm in for a mission for 5 minutes and I'm out. They're definitely they are a sit-down's worth of gameplay and resolution. So they're just not quite the large epics which the primary missions are. Right, so I mean, it really is just, again, setting a really interesting cadence where you can play these long sweeping missions and you can go on the side missions and you're leveling up your characters and you're learning more about where you are.
Yep.
And you can do that in, you know, maybe that's what you do for one night and then you spend your weekend playing the other ones, and you can kind of split it up however it suits you.
Or even what we haven't talked about, because we haven't really shown today, all the game content and quest lines and interactivity within XCOM headquarters itself, which is a whole other aspect of changing with our tempos, where you'll be participating and interacting with the main characters. Like now that we've recovered, or soon to recover Dr. Weir here, who's working his experiment, which is going to be crucial to our understanding of the alien threat. You'll interact with them at XCOM HQ. You'll go on side quests within the headquarters. They need your help getting it online, getting it up and running, dealing with the various things that transpire. And so there's a lot of fun to be had, and you know, both in and out of combat. Again.
Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me. We're gonna let Carter. Come on, Weir. Something's going on with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's suffering from stuff.
Something. He's suffering from something. And we're going to close out with the Origins trailer. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You should definitely find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/The Bureau. You can find us on Twitter at 2K Games. And then, of course, right here at twitch.tv/2K. You can find me on Twitter. I'm like somewhere down. Well, there were names down here at one point. You can go back. It's been class. There we go. And of course, I'm here with Morgan Gray. Thank you guys so much. Stay in the chat. We're going to be showing that trailer. I'd love to hear what you want to say about it. And then join us on Facebook. And we can do another one of these, talk even more.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye, all.